So, my husband joined the military. Hey guys, what's up? It's Lindsay from Faith Marriage Country. I'm really excited about this video today as I am grappling with the idea that Matt, my husband, has joined the military. These points that I'm going to go over on how to cope are definitely more geared to if you are married. So in later videos, a lot of my videos will be more broad or general to relationships, but because this is what I'm going through currently, this one's going to be a little bit more specified. I'm super excited to dive in. A little backstory for you guys to understand. Matt and I have been married for 3 years. I feel, maybe I'm wrong, write in the comments if I'm wrong, but this is a little bit of a unique situation, to be a civilian spouse and then be married for a couple years and then have your husband join the military. We don't have any experience with public service, although Matt has looked into it and it's always been a heart and passion that he has had. However, this is a completely new realm for us. We have no family in the military, really not any friends on my side that have served in the military, and so this is a completely new thing for both of us. So it's definitely a process that we're gonna go through together, and I'm excited to kind of document this journey from the very beginning. He hasn't even left for basic yet. He leaves next month. Whew, that's crazy. And then go through kind of our whole journey of starting military life. So let's dive into the 4 ways to cope if your husband is joining the military. The first and foremost way to get through processing your husband joining the military is to pray. Now, if you're married and this is a decision that your husband and you have made while being married, hopefully you guys prayed through the process to come to this point. If not, then now's a good time to start getting on those hands and knees and begin praying for this next chapter. I know for me, just like being able to surrender it to God and knowing that this is so much bigger than me or my fears or things that I thought my life would turn out like or look like, really helps me kind of release that control and have confidence that it's actually going to be even better than anything I could have hoped for my life. Not that it won't be hard or that there won't be times, I'm sure, where I'm like, was this the right decision, God? Because what are we doing? But it at least gives me the peace that we have prayed about it, we've committed it to God, and He's going to get us through this chapter no matter what challenges come our way. Some things to be praying about is, of course, your husband. The things that he's going to be going through, we won't really understand. Like, I know when Matt's in basic training, his experience there is going to be something that's really hard for me to maybe ever even fully grasp. But also on my end, the things that I'm going through, being, a spouse at home, not being able to talk to him, getting used to sleeping alone in bed again, little things like that, waking up in the morning and not having him to have coffee with or process my day with. Those are all things that he might not understand. And so knowing that God always does understand our hearts, our concerns, our fears, our worries, it doesn't put that pressure on Matt that you need to understand what I'm going through, or I need to understand what you're going through, because we're both going to have our own journeys together. So praying for your spouse and whatever he might be facing. Praying for yourself, I feel like sometimes it's easy to forget to pray for yourself. We can pray about other things or situations, but it's okay to pray for yourself that God gives you the strength, the words, the wisdom to get through this chapter. And lastly, just praying for your marriage. That is so crucial. I know for me, I am worried about not being able to talk to Matt, not being able to cuddle with Matt, not being able to do what married couples should be able to do. And if you are about to face a deployment or have faced a deployment, I know it's probably much different than basic training, but you can't be with your spouse. And so praying for the strength of your marriage and that God will just keep the unity with each other, even when you can't do that as we know how to do that. I know for me, that's going to be what gets me through. That leads us to number 2. I am really focusing on finding community and purpose for myself, and Matt has been so sweet to help me do that right now in this new phase. So what that might look like, I've tried to pick up new hobbies. So some of my friends call me an old grandma, but I've gotten really into crocheting. I'm at the age where a lot of my friends are starting to have babies, and so I've really been crocheting baby blankets and little teddy bears. I really have gotten into working out. So Matt and I have talked about while he's gone, maybe getting a personal trainer, just doing things, feeling like it's okay to invest in myself. Matt's investing in himself and our family, and I can do the same when he's gone. I've looked maybe into getting into clubs like a racquetball club, or just finding my own hobbies and passions, so I don't get discouraged that Matt's taking this big leap of faith, and he's gonna have a lot of identity in the Army and in the military, and I don't wanna lose that for myself. If you guys know me, I am also working on my master's and working full-time. My master's is to be a family marriage therapist, which is why I'm also so excited for this channel and ministry. But just things like that that keep me grounded and remind me of my own individual purpose. Another great step in finding purpose in community is many churches do have a military ministry. So I've been able to already, I'm in a Bible study at my church, meet other women. I'm really looking forward to meeting people who are veterans and have gone through this whole process and can kind of come alongside me, pray for me, and teach me what they know, because I know I have a lot to learn. Also, I want to encourage you, a huge aspect of me being able to get through this and process through this have been my friends. And so if you don't have godly friends or a community that you feel like you can count on, that's definitely something to go back to number one, you can pray for. But my friends, even though they might not have their spouses in the military, have committed to just being there for me, being able to pray for me, and that alone makes a world of difference, because even though they might not be going through the same thing, it gives me hope and faith that when Matt's gone, I will have friends and community to lean on and family. If you don't have that, write in the comments. I would love to be pen pals. We can pray for each other. We can hold each other accountable. That is my goal, and Matt's goal with this ministry is to create that community and really build a vibrant Christian community of families, marriages, dating couples that are in the military and can provide that community and support for one another. So let's be friends and let's go through that together. Number 3 is remembering what brought you to this decision. So again, hopefully this was not a decision made overnight or spur of the moment. If it was, God can work all things together for good, but I'm assuming most people aren't in that situation. So what brought you and your spouse to come to the decision that joining the military was the best? For Matt and I, it was through a lot of prayer, it was through a lot of list making, a lot of discussions, late night discussions, early morning coffee discussions, talking to recruiters. For us, this was probably about a 2-year process of initially it being brought up all the way to him enlisting. And I was very, 2 years ago when it was brought up, my mind was like, nope, not joining the military. What about basic training? What about deployments? What about not being able to talk to see to each other? It was very foreign to me. And then seeing how God softened my heart and gave me the strength and the courage to be able to face this chapter is a huge testimony in itself. But all to say, when I know when things get hard, I have those reminders to kind of lean on and tell myself hey, Matt and I have talked and prayed about this for X amount of time. Hey, we knew the benefits, like the VA home loan benefit, him learning a skill in the military he couldn't get from the civilian world, him being able to serve his country, which he loves and is thankful for, me being able to support him and being a wife that stands by his side to pursue his purpose. As his wife, this is for me, I feel like if I were selfish, where God was putting this calling on his life, God was putting this stir in my heart, and if it was just no, sorry babe, at the end of the day, I don't want to be away from you, I don't want to do something that sounds so scary or foreign, I would be as his wife, not being the encourager and support that I'm called to be, I would be actually disabling him from doing all that God has equipped him to be able to do. And that's for me. So again, I know everyone's situation's different. Again, it's a different situation if you feel your husband's making this decision and you're not getting that peace from God. But I'd really challenge you, and if you're watching this video, most likely the decision's already been made. How can you be that support and encouragement despite your fears, despite your insecurities, and what led you guys to this point, and how is God going to equip you to get through it? Another quick note on that is if you are married, remembering that marriage is a commitment. We already know that if you've been married longer than a day, marriage, yes, it's wonderful. Yes, I love Matt. He's my best friend. All of those great feelings. But at the end of the day, marriage is truly a commitment. And you and your spouse committed to get through remember your vows, the good, the bad, the unknown, unforeseeable circumstances that come up. For me and Matt, when I said I do, I did not see us being in the military. But God has, when you make that commitment, it's bigger than your feelings. I know when Matt's in basic training and my feelings are loneliness or feeling isolated from him, not being able to communicate, him having experiences that I don't understand, it's going to be easy to get in my head and be hey, right now I'm not feeling those same butterfly feelings that I get to feel when Matt and I are doing dates and able to connect all the time. but I need to go back to this marriage is founded on a commitment, and the commitment I made to Matt to love and support him no matter what that looks like. And number 4, go on this journey with me. I am going to try to be as raw and vulnerable as possible through this process. I feel blessed in the sense that this does appear to be a rare situation where, again, from a civilian wife to a military wife and going through this process from step 1. If you are married and you're a military wife for 5-6 years, maybe this will help you kind of remembering how you felt from these beginning phases, or just kind of seeing someone process through it on my end together. And I really want to go on this journey together. This is a ministry that Matt and I have been called to, I'm committed to, and let's struggle through these things together. Let's walk through the scariness of basic training and the mistakes that we're gonna make, and finding a permanent duty station and AIT and all these things that are going through my head. I'm excited to be able to process through a vlog and the virtual world that can connect us. COVID is also bringing so many uncertainties that I battle with on a daily basis. So it's gonna be really interesting to kind of talk through with you guys how COVID is changing how things would normally go. But let's go on this journey together. And you can do that by liking and subscribing to our channel, Faith Marriage Country. Follow us on Instagram. For those of you that are dating or engaged, again, future videos are gonna be more geared towards relationships in general. But this video is kind of my heart as being a military wife, or a soon-to-be military wife. And so I'm excited to kind of go over more relationship advice, what I'm doing to get through this, and more videos with Matt before he leaves from both of our perspectives. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.